You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for tuning in to another edition of Inside Automotive, exclusively right here at cbtnews.com. During the pandemic, the way customers interacted with dealership personnel changed for many. As previously reported, Acura of Columbus transitioned to a virtual sales manager, which was very interesting. Today, we're getting an update on how things are going with John Connelly, president and owner of Acura of Columbus. Thank you, John, so much for joining us on the show today.
Oh, thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
Sure. So how are things going since the last time we spoke? How's the virtual sales manager working?
Well, it's hard to believe, right? 4 years.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about that. March of 20, and I'm in, 4.5 at this point.
Yeah.
And so, no, we still do our virtual sales manager. It's been fantastic. The idea has worked every day since then, and I know it will continue to work from here on out. It's pretty simple. Our virtual sales manager is online. So when someone said we use Podium, but other people use other texting solutions, but they'll write in and say they're interested, and he can take a car all the way from the beginning to the end and dust the deal, do the whole thing. And it's been great.
That is fantastic. And, we saw so much of that through COVID. And then a number of dealers that I spoke to here in the last couple of years said, well, it seems as though customers now want to kind of get back to the way things were and come in and kick the tires and have the experience in the dealership. But they have all seen an increase in their consumers doing much more of the sales process online, all the way through to financing, and then just using the dealership kind of an affirmation and confirmation of the deal that they made and picking the vehicle up, right?
Oh, definitely. The biggest thing is everybody, you just want to make it easy.
Right.
That's it. Right. That's what people want, is make things easy. And so, some people want to come in the store and kick some tires. That's fine. But, a lot of people just want to, have an easy transaction. Yeah. And so they're just thrilled when we can make it easy, when we can share all of our numbers. There's no, the whole game of horse trading around, trying to eliminate that. Like, hey, this is, what we can do for you. This is why, we think that we give you a good value, and why don't you buy from us? And in fact, we'll bring the car right to you.
Yeah.
That's my philosophy, is I want to treat everybody like how I'd want to be able to buy a car.
Sure.
And me, I like easy. So we try to make it easy.
That's right. And people are willing to pay a premium for easy, whether it be in automotive or in other retail sales environments. People are okay with that, as long as, to your point, it is an easy process. I think the days of consumers coming in and spending all day long on a showroom floor on a Saturday, or in some cases a Sunday afternoon, when they've got so many other things to do, and there's so many double income situations where the only time they have to spend with their family is on a weekend. And here, lo and behold, they walk into a car dealership and it might take 4 or 5 or 6 hours to get their vehicle. And everybody shakes their head and says, why does it take so long? This is crazy, right?
I mean, time is money, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing, I hate wasting people's time. Because I hate to have my time wasted.
Right.
I hate wasting anybody's time. And so often when somebody says they want to come in on a Saturday, like when we've already been working the deal out, I say, please, let us set an appointment for you on Monday, or on Tuesday, when it works best for your schedule, or just let us come to your house, because you're going to get 1,000 times better experience. Because on a Saturday, everybody's running with their heads cut off.
That's
and
right.
And so it creates a bad feeling, a bad experience. And, people have that in their guts. It's like going to the dentist. No offense to going to the dentist, but a lot of people, when they go to a car store, their stomach hurts. Like, oh boy, this is going to be a hassle.
That's right.
And
That's
the
right.
minute you can show them it's not a hassle, we have an appointment, or we're going to do this online, it takes all the stress out of it. And so, can you make a better deal? Yeah, you can, because there's less of that antagonistic fighting back and forth.
So, John, let me ask you, affordability is at the forefront of every dealer's mind right now, with the average price of a new car being almost $50,000. And obviously, Acura, I'm sure it's over that. But what are you finding out there? Is that a big concern among your consumers? Now, obviously, Acura is a luxury car, and your consumers probably have a little bit more money than the average bear out there that shops for a car. But is that a concern on your showroom floor?
You know what? It's not as big of a concern as I thought it was going to be when the interest rates went up.
Yeah.
Boy, I thought car sales were going to really slow down as the APR was ticking up and up.
Yeah.
And so it hasn't been too much of an issue. Now, I'll tell you where it comes in the affordability. If you got a car, an Acura in 2018, and you're coming in now because you want to get a newer car,
right?
You have sticker shock.
Yeah.
You're like, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's when I feel bad, because there are customers, boy, they've been with me for 6 years. They've been doing all their service,
Sure.
And they're like, hey, hey, John, it's cool. Just get me in at $350 a month, $1,000 down, we're set. And I'm like, the world has changed.
It has.
And so that's when it comes in. People who are buying, who've been in the market the last couple of years, they understand everything is more expensive. Grocery store, the electronics store, everything. So people are kind of conditioned, like, I know this is going to hurt. It's more that people have been out of the market for 5 or so years.
Yeah.
They have affordability sticker shock.
That's right. That's right. And where do you stand on EVs? Are consumers there in Ohio coming in and saying, "John, I want an EV. Sell me an EV," or where is that today?
Well, car dealers were getting a bad rap in the beginning of this whole thing, saying, "Oh, well, the car dealers don't want to sell EVs," and that was 100% baloney.
Yeah.
If there's demand for a flying car, that I want to sell flying cars.
Right.
So the demand for the EV, no, there hasn't been much demand for it. There's so many other alternatives, and there's a lot of things that need to be worked out. But if I was selling you a 8-track today, or I was selling you a VCR, the technology gets fast so quick.
Yeah.
And so, if we could just let the market push this rather than the government pushing this, it will work out. Electric cars, we have one. I have one here at my house. I have my charger at home. I got the whole thing. Great. Love it. Super. But not everybody's in that same situation.
Right.
And so when you and I sit here in a couple of years talking about the same thing, I think that there will be the demand for it, and we'll be doing very well selling it.
Sure. Sure. Are those the vehicles on your lot that are aging, or are you to the point where you're saying, hey, we don't need any more EVs, we got a plentiful supply, or are they moving?
Well, we're in a different boat. We're so lucky with Acura because we're a smaller, more nimble manufacturer.
Yeah.
And so no, I'm completely fine on our day supplies of electric vehicles, because the manufacturer recognized it right off the bat.
Yeah.
Got the numbers right.
Yeah.
Honda, they do a very good job.
Yeah. Sure.
Now I can read the automotive news and see, or watch CBT news and know that the day supply is creeping up and up and up.
Yeah.
And I get it, but the manufacturer's got to be smart about it. But also the government is pushing this train, because they have mandates where if you don't have a certain percentage of your fleet to be, an electric vehicle, within the ZEV states, you could be facing some significant monetary penalties coming up just in 26.
I know. Yeah, that's got everybody nervous and kind of off their chairs on this to figure out what's going to happen. Speaking of the government, what kind of an impact, if any, does an election year like this have on your business? Obviously, we're in the middle of a very contentious election, regardless of what side of the aisle that you're on. But does it have much of an impact in your business, whether it be before or after the election?
Well, I mean, certainly this is a big election in that sort of the future of the electric vehicle business is sort of on the line here.
Yeah.
Not the future, just the next couple years.
Yeah.
whether or not there's going to be the tax incentives and those type of things, and whether or not there's going to be penalties against manufacturers. But by and large, you live your day and you think that the whole presidential race is dictating everything. But, when you sort of get down to it, people's day-to-day lives, especially in Central Ohio, people, they keep moving on.
Yeah.
It'll all be fine. And so, no, we haven't noticed anybody saying, hey, I'm going to hold off because of the presidential election.
Yeah.
But, if you read the newspaper every day or you're watching the cable news, then you might be a little more sensitive to it. But otherwise,
that's right.
Otherwise, people just want to live their lives.
That's right. That's right. And we may have a vice president that is from the great state of Ohio, depending on how this turns out, right?
That's right. He's from here in Cincinnati, right down the road. So we'll see. Hard to predict,
That's right. And then Ohio is also home to another Senate candidate, Bernie Moreno, right? So you may give us somebody that's a car guy in the U.S. Senate, right?
Right. He understands the car business, and he had an Acura store here in Ohio, and he did very well with it. So I know that he's a good operator.
Yeah.
And so it would be, it is nice when you meet with your representatives and they have run a small business.
Yes.
It makes all the difference in the world.
No question.
If you've always gotten a check from somebody else, you don't have the idea of what it takes to take care of all your employees and to deal with all the government mandates.
That's right.
So it makes an enormous difference. So whether it be Bernie Moreno or anyone else who's a small business owner, please run, because we need you.
I couldn't agree more. There's no question about it. They know firsthand what it's like to run a business, and it's not easy, and it takes a lot, and we need to take care of our entrepreneurs in the country for sure. Used cars, the values seem to be kind of on a roller coaster, over the last 6 months. Do you do much of a big used car business there?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we're about 1-to-1 with our used cars, and like to even make it. If it be 2-to-1, fantastic. Used cars are, and you talked about affordability before. Certified pre-owned cars that's a great market to be in. Predicting the used car market's been so difficult. You kept thinking, oh, now it's going to be the dip. Now it's going to be the dip. Nah, it's pretty consistent here. And so it's been a good business. People need affordable cars, and they need one with a good warranty on it. So, I'm a huge advocate of being in that newer used car business.
Right. Are you keeping vehicles that come into on trade, for one of your new Acuras? Let's say the car's got 100,000 miles on it, but it is in very nice condition otherwise. Is that a car that you're now keeping on the used car lot to sell?
Unquestionably.
Okay.
If I get a 100,000 mile Acura on our lot, we get called, we're selling that.
Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't long ago that, if it had 100,000, going to the auction.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't want to deal with it. No. I mean, the cars, they're reliable.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you can, run it through your shop, know what, and like, on this model they had this, and so we can switch it out ahead of time. And it's that kind of automobile people are really hot for. Once again, affordability comes into the play there, right?
Yeah, for sure. Although the consumers know this now because they go online and get a number for that car, and a car like that's still bringing strong money, isn't it, on a trade-in?
Oh, bringing really strong money. And but I like that. I love the transparency of it all. Yeah, I love it.
That's right.
And so when a customer has an idea of what the car is worth, that's great. Because it cuts out a lot of baloney.
It does.
A lot of the going back and forth is over your trade.
That's right.
I'll show you this much on the car versus taking off. If you and you better be upfront with your used car values, because they'll go to the Carvana, they'll go to the CarMax, and they'll get a check.
That's right.
So you better not, jerk around with it, because
That's
it
right.
is very easy to get your value just off the internet in a couple of minutes.
Do you buy cars off the road as well?
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay.
That's our salespeople are all, they get, that's part of their pay plan, is to
really?
seek out. Oh yes.
Oh, wow.
Because that's the best cars you can get.
Yeah, no question. Yep. Yeah. Wow. Interesting. John, what are some of the things, if there are a few things, but what would some of the things be that you've got your eye on, that you think it might be a concern of the auto industry as we move into the second half of 2024 and go into the first half of 2025? Any major concerns out there that you've got?
Yeah, cyber's on my mind all the time.
Yeah.
We contract with an IT provider to watch all of our computers, all of our phones. But we, as a car dealer, you deal with a lot of personal information.
Yeah.
So that is always on top of my mind. I want to protect my customers' information.
Yeah.
That's always a big thing. And then the Federal Trade Commission's, their proposed regulations.
Yeah.
You and I, you're talking about how you just spend the 3.5 hours. That's going to add a lot of time to a transaction with the proposed rules that they have.
That's right.
When they wrote it up as if the last time they bought a car was in 1982.
I couldn't agree more.
We're not that terrible of people,
right?
And so they're looking to add a lot of time to everybody's transactions and add a lot of costs. So that's definitely on my mind too, trying to prepare for those type of regulations.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, got some things got to keep an eye on. John Connelly, President and owner of Acura of Columbus in Ohio. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Very much appreciated. Love to do a follow-up with you. Congratulations on keeping that virtual sales manager moving along. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.